morning. The most news in the morning, period. Weekdays 6 Eastern.
Senator, it's good to see you again.
Thank you,
It's
John.
always
good to see you.
In the last couple of days, you've gone back to that aggressive style of compare and contrast that we saw about a month ago, which didn't seem to really play too well for you at that time. Why did you feel the need to go back to that?
Well, I think the debate here in New Hampshire on Saturday night really was a turning point. All of a sudden, moderators were asking tough questions about each of us. And I thought that it was a moment that really helped to define what the election truly should be about going forward. Each of us should be compared and contrasted with the others. This is an election that is going to, we hope, pick the next president of the United States. And so we've got to start by making sure that our candidates have their records compared and contrasted, their positions and everything else, because once we have a nominee, we know what the Republicans are going to do. They're not going to stand back and say, well, we shouldn't raise those questions. And so let's raise the questions. And I thought that, on Saturday night, both Senators Edwards and Obama had some, answers that really bear some further thought.
Let me ask you a question that President Bush posited, hypothetically, at his last press conference. He said that he would ask the candidates, what are the principles that you will stand on in good times and bad times? What will be the underpinning of your decisions?
The United States Constitution, first and foremost. That is the founding document of our government. The rule of law that undergirds our Constitution. The understanding that we are a nation with separation of powers and checks and balances. I will also do everything that I can to protect and defend our country, and then to fulfill the goals that I have set. We want to get back to having a position of international leadership and moral authority. We want to rebuild a strong and prosperous middle class. We need to reform this government, and we need to do it quickly because it has become a government for the wealthy and the well-connected. And we need to reclaim the future for our children.
In Portsmouth, New Hampshire, at an event on Monday, you teared up a little bit when you were asked about the rigors of the road.
I have so many opportunities from this country. I just don't want to see us fall backwards. So, this is very personal for me. It's not just political, it's not just public. I see what's happening, and we have to reverse it.
I know what some people have said to you. Was this an Edmund Muskie moment? I don't want to ask you that. Was it fatigue? Was it the nature of the question? What was it? We don't normally see that display of emotion.
Well, I actually have emotions. I know that there are some people who doubt that, but I really am so touched by what I hear from people. It's usually about their problems. It's usually a mother who throws her arms around me and says, thank you for the Children's Health Insurance Program, or a man who drove all the way here from New York to tell people that I'd saved jobs in New York. I mean, that's really moving to me because that's how I judge the job I'm doing. And so when this woman, this really kind woman, said to me, well, how are you doing? It was so touching to me because I am so other-oriented. I'm not good about talking about myself. I don't get up and, think about how I'm going to present myself. I think about, okay, what am I going to do today to actually make a difference in somebody's life? And I think there's been, a lot of misunderstanding, perhaps, because, I am reserved. I am somebody who says, let's have a little bit of distance here because I want to be judged by my work. I want to be judged by what I've done for people. So it was, I get very passionate about my country and about what I want to do. And, I have this woman who is a supporter, apparently, as she said later, say, well, but I want you to, be able to go the distance. I want you to be okay. It was very touching to me.
Not unusual for a presidential candidate or a president to tear up. Your husband did it on occasion.
Oh, a lot of the time.
George
W. Bush has.
This President Bush has done it. Ronald Reagan used to do it.
Right. Well, but part of it, John, is that as hard as this work is, it is such a privilege. I don't take anybody for granted. I'm not entitled to anything. I feel like I've been given the greatest gift to be able to travel around our country, meet with people, understand what's going on in their lives. Our country is so good, and we just need a president again who's going to lift our sights and give us our pride back, and we can start making progress again.
Senator, I won't ask you if you'll keep going after New Hampshire if you lose here, because I know that you have the money in the organization to keep competing. So
I will.
Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Good luck to you in the primary.
Thank you, John. It's great to see you.
Good to see you too.